is asking is what led to the Air India plane crash in Ahmedabad. The only two videos accessed, one recorded by a local which shows the plane crashing and another one which shows the 51-second CCTV footage of takeoff, and the crash has been analyzed by several experts on NewsX. Now we have full details from the ATC on their account of what really happened then. Sources have made it clear to NewsX that no early warnings were issued by the pilot. No demand for thrust adjustments or flap reconfiguration was made. No radar anomaly was noticed. No engine variations were detected. And all protocols and electrical systems were working and everything was followed before takeoff. The final message of the pilot, Sumit Sabharwal, according to ATC sources, was thrust not received. Mayday, mayday, mayday. And with the high-level committee set to hold the first meeting and the black box data being analyzed, do we now have a better understanding of what caused this crash? Let's discuss. Joining us on the program is Captain Saurabh Bhatnagar, former senior commander of A320 Air India Express, Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, former Indian Air Force officer and former spokesperson of the Ministry of Defence as well, Squadron Leader Krishna Mithru, former Indian Air Force officer, also with us on the program. And last but not the least, Mr. Surajit Panesar, aviation expert, joins us on the program as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here and dedicating time to this important discussion. Captain Bhatnagar, I'll come to you first. I hope you can hear me. Captain Bhatnagar. Captain Bhatnagar, you know, I'm pretty sure you have studied the footage, you have analyzed what really went down. I'm a layman and so is most of our audience, but from what we understand that there was enough thrust and capability in both the engines for this brief takeoff, and right after taking off the engine stalled. The rat was also employed, is what we understand by analyzing the footage once again. That is something which is done when both the engines failed. As per your understanding, what could have gone wrong? And the other reason why this has become such a mystery and such a discussion is because there are no similar precedents in the past which have had a Boeing Dreamliner 787 fall 30 seconds after taking off and crashing. What do you make of what you have seen and assessed so far?
I'll come straight to the point, but it's been 3 days and it has been, I think, confirmed beyond doubt that the aircraft went down because of the loss of lift. So loss of lift has happened, and now since the RT is also been floating around that no thrust and we cannot lift, that means there was no power in both the engines. And the last 3 days again, people have analyzed, now evidence have come out that the rat was deployed, that is the damage turbine. Plus, I was also analyzing, say, the structure, the tail cone of the aircraft, and I found that the air inlet door of the auxiliary power unit APU was also open. Now, these two evidences, make sure that obviously, it points out that there was a complete loss of power. Power means when there are no generators available, both the engines. See, I tell you, the Dreamliner is, we call it as a no-bleed structure architecture. That means it relies heavily on the electrical power from the generators of the engine, generators of the APU and the RAT. So now in 35 seconds, both the evidence like, RAT has deployed and the APU also is in the starting position, means that there was no power generation from the generator, which means that there was no power in the engine. That again means that the aircraft went down because there was no lift being generated. Now it is, I would say, a rarest of the rare incidents when both the engines stopped developing power. That has led to so many people analyzing that what could have gone wrong, whether it was bird head, whether it was fuel contamination, or whether it was a stalled condition by improper or the configuration of flaps.
But Captain Bhatnagar, if sorry to stop you there, but if there was a bird hit, don't you think there would have been some evidence of smoke and flames coming out of the engines?
Not necessarily. If the bird is small, or it depends again.
But what about the probability of two birds entering two engines at the same time?
Absolutely. If it depends, that's what I'm saying, because Nobody could see the block because I've had a bird hit, a bird ingested into the engine. There was no smoke, nothing, and it just went past through. There was no changes in the engine parameters. Also, it was a small bird. It again depends on what part the bird is hit or whatever. So that I cannot tell you at this point of time that the investigation will tell. And obviously, the FDR will come out what exactly was the point where both the engines stopped developing thrust. Even if one engine stopped developing thrust, there would have been some appreciable yaw or pitch or something in the attitude of the aircraft. The aircraft went just there down as in a deep stall, or we call it as a falling leaf when your aircraft is in stalled condition in such a low altitude with such heavy aircraft all of weight. So now it is confirmed that the aircraft that's what everybody is seeing the footage of both the footage CCTV as well as the other footage that, and the APU takes 30 to 60 seconds to come online. In the meantime, the RAT comes online, and that RAT tries to provide the power to the electronics and the flight controls.
And Captain Bhatnagar, is the RAT deployed by the pilot or is that automatic?
Automatic. See, the thing what happens is that when there is a sensor, when there is no generators power available, there is a sensor that APU also has in Boeing 777 Dreamliner, the APU starts automatically when it is sensed that there is no power coming from both the generators. But APU takes time, 30 to 60 seconds to come online. In the meantime, the RAT gets deployed automatically. It's something like what we have at the windmill, and we call it in Hindi as a pavan chakki on the ground. So that in the interim, when the APU comes online, the RAT supplied power. The moment APU comes online after between 30 to 60 seconds, the APU automatically takes over because APU has got two generators and automatically takes over the complete power generation, including power supplies to the hydraulics. The 787 has got a heavily reliable on for engine starting, for cabin pressurization, for air conditioning, and for wing anti-icing. Everything is on electrical power. Unlike the conventional aircraft where we use the bleed pressure or the compressed air pressure from the engine. So that two things which led to the thing that yes. So now the main question is, what has happened when both the engines have stopped developing power simultaneously? It could happen only maybe a simultaneously bird hit both engines or fuel starvation. Fuel starvation is a very serious issue as far as the aircraft is concerned because every procedure is taken into consideration. Aircraft is just flown from Delhi, Mumbai, or because of contamination of the fuel. So that, I think, the two reasons.
But Captain Bhatnagar, why would there be contamination in just this aircraft? It would be there in every other aircraft. And as little as I know, I think that the engines don't accept if there is fuel contamination. They don't accept any kind of a contamination, even if it's tried. Is that true?
It depends again. Even if fuel is contaminated bit, or if there is some water in the fuel, depends upon whether bubbles are there. Water has clogged the pipeline, or some air bubble has clogged, or there is something called the aircraft has got every aircraft.
Right. So let me involve the other guest as well, Commander Bakshi. So what do you make of this, sir? As much as I understand, is that the aircraft had enough power in both the engines, Commander Bakshi, to take off and exhaust the entire runway for 3.5 kilometers, and as soon as it took off, Commander Bakshi,